Hello, this is Mr. Huff, and I want to go over some expectations because I'm seeing some things that are not quite where they need to be, so I just want to be clear with everyone. So first and foremost, I shared a folder with you at the very beginning of the year. If you don't know where it is, please send me an email and I will send you the link again. But you should be working in that folder. Later this year, this might become a notebook check, and if you don't have your files in there, it may not go well. So please use the folder that I shared with you. Something that's bad for your grade is copy and paste. So as I get to know you based on the kinds of responses that you give me, I will start recognizing the level of language that you use. And I've already seen some students that have a very high level of expression, we'll say. But if you are answering like this, where you just copy and paste a paragraph in there and just hope it covers the bases, then it's probably going to be bad for your grade. This instantly will drag your grade down if I see you copy and paste like this, because I look at this and most of you don't use the words like a more generalized description or subsequently. So I don't see a lot of that. So make sure you're putting it in your own words. Don't copy and paste. Copying and pasting is bad for your grade. Another thing is being too brief without any context. So let's say I asked a question and this was your answer. It will last longer. While that could be the correct answer, it's not supported. I don't know what it is referring to, and it will last longer. Why will it last longer? Be specific, make it clear. Something to keep in mind when you're writing for me, if you make a claim like this, it will last longer, then you need to support it. You also need to be more clear about what it is. I really like answers that stand alone without the question. And last year, I didn't make you write the question, but if you could provide an answer that covered what the question was asking. But this year we're gone digital, so copying and pasting the prompts and questions is not a big deal. So I expect to see those prompts. It also makes it a lot easier for me to grade, and I'll talk about that more in a moment. Let's talk more about writing. I like answers that are clear, concise, and complete. Let's talk about how to do that. To answer the question, ATQ, I recommend this, and this is something I picked up teaching AP Physics. First, you make a list of the ideas you need to discuss in your answer to completely answer the question. Make a list. So you could take that paragraph about nanotechnology and pull out the ideas that you needed to answer the question that I've posed. So make a list, any order, and don't copy sentences. Do like a word or a short phrase, okay? Even better is to put it in your own words as you're making the list. Then look at the list and think about a logical order to present that information to completely answer the question. So just put 1, 2, 3, 4, or use a digital format and rearrange the ideas until they have a logical flow to them. And then you write from that list. So write your response from that list in nice complete sentences using your own words, and ta-da. That's all there is to it. If you do this, there won't be issues with, hey, you copy and pasted this right off the internet. And I'm seeing a lot of it, and some of it is pretty egregious, so knock it off. All right, an APA reference looks like this. Apparently some of you have never seen this before, so you might need to go do some reading about what an APA reference is. The digital format using Google Slides, it's hard to get this hanging indent to work. So I'm not so concerned about the hanging indent and the double spacing. I'm mostly concerned about the content and the order. So it should be super easy using BibMe or Citation Machine, or if you use the academic resources through your library, it has citation buttons that you just click and copy. So I'm looking for this when I say APA reference. Some of you are turning in bulleted lists and some of you are turning in links. I need to see this. Now, not everything you look at is going to have all of this information. That's why you may need to go look up APA reference examples. PLTW has some documentation in the general student resources. And you can also go to Purdue OWL, their writing lab, and they have a lot of information about APA. I suggest look at the examples. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about presentation format or your eNotes format. So in this case, these are the answers, but they don't have the prompt. And notice how it looks like just one continuous thought. Now, what I would expect to see is some separation. So let's take a look at another example. So this one is all clumped together, and it's real hard to connect the answers to the prompts. Consider this as a comparison. The prompt is clearly given at the top, and then we have the response. What would make this nicer even is if they had some pictures to support their claim. Another thing I'm looking for is when you put images in your presentations, add a caption that describes what that image is about, so it's not just random pictures. I was looking at a aerospace history presentation. It was really nice, but they had these 3 pictures that seemed unassociated, and they just had what they were. They didn't connect them. They could have used the captions to connect those pictures to their ideas, and that would have been a lot easier for me to follow. I figured it out after a little bit. Okay, here's a really good example of using wonderful captions with clear pictures and the prompt. This is super easy for me to digest, and if you were to come back and look at this, if it's your work, if you came back and looked at it later, you would know exactly what it was about. Another thing I want to point out is when you're doing these presentations, I expect to see a consistent format throughout. So, or your e-notebooks or presentations. Don't switch your layouts and fonts and colors and all that. That tells me that maybe some things are going on. But if you get a working layout like this, so this is actually really good. They've got the prompt over here and their answer with a supporting picture here. It needs a caption, but other than that, it's a beautiful layout. You can, in Google Slides, click on this slide and then right-click and choose Duplicate or Command-D or Control-D, duplicate that slide, and then add your new prompt and your new answer and your new picture for that one. So I like this layout. It was really easy for me to score that. So that's all I have about writing and some general expectations about your eNotes and presentations. I hope you find this helpful.